Good evening. Welcome to the festive season edition of Tarzan'S Take. By the time you finish watching this, most Ghanaians will be putting down their calendar for what it is they'll be doing this Christmas. For the last 20 years or so, prominent amongst everybody's calendar have been the JoyNews show, KSM on Christmas Day, and for the last few years, Uncle Ibuhoit's Roverman Festival of Theatre. Every Ghanaian who has gone past *7 does not want to miss Uncle Ibu's place nor KSM's show. They bring humor and they tell us how our everyday lives can be tempered from the ills and evils and hardships. Some call it comedy, but if you use the word comedy because of concert party, etc., people tend to not see it in a good light. Humor in life. How do you make our day-to-day life more humorous? There are no better representatives of that genre than my two guests tonight.
The baptism of the Ghana spirit. Every returnee goes through that. The baptism of the Ghana spirit. This is when they just get a shock and they realize, oh, okay, I'm in Ghana, things are different. I told the story of the returnee trying to get a taxi, standing there going, cab. Oh, cab. So, hey, this is Ghana. So that cab, I say taxi. So, hey, taxi. And you know Ghana taxi drivers. He goes and he stops 100 meters away. The returnee is standing there waiting. He actually thinks the driver will reverse and come back because he has stopped the taxi. The driver too is in the car looking in the mirror. So somebody says, listen, look, in Ghana, when they stop, you run to them all. So the cab stops and you see a returnee running to the taxi driver. He gets to the taxi driver, returnee. I'm going to Maraheko. Huh? Maraheko. Yo, Tanase. 50 Ghana city. Ha! Bateko haye! That's the baptism of the Ghana spirit. All of a sudden, all the Marahego is gone. It's like, hey, Matego, hey. But returnees are great, man. They have great ideas. Capito in the house. Capito is a returnee, you know. Have you seen him?
Oh man, I am telling you, the fastest growing party in Ghana right now is the local party. Everywhere I go. Last week I went to GIJ to deliver a speech and everybody there was, anyway, sorry, I forgot to have it here. I took over now. Hello, this party is going fast though.
Oh, very, very, very fast. Very, very fast. As you said, our
slogan, changing things, move forward.
Small. It's really getting down.
Oh yeah,
and, you know,
give a talk at the Ghana Institute of Journalism. All
the students are signing up. All the students are signing up. The whole country, market women. I go to the bank these days. When I go to the bank, I don't even have money in my account. When they see me, they say, "Oh, no go feel." And they are dropping money in my account. It is really. It is working very fast, and so we are growing, and we are growing by leaps and bounds.
People are applying. One man, Mr. Zonko Mateko. He says the constituency ward chairman and everything.
Oh, this is a guy who says that he will print the people that are not very
literate, so they don't
print
write their ballot paper. Yeah.
So when you go, please, so when you go and you stay somewhere in Mateko and you go to the polling center, just go and tell them that you want a Nokofio ballot paper. They will give you a special ballot paper. That's what you then don't have to write. Just go and then drop it in the box and then vote for us. There's another guy who also says that he wants to set up the Nokofio branch at all the university campuses around the country. So we are
you know, Sam.
Yes.
He wants to be minister for unaffordable housing.
Unaffordable housing. And that's very, very important. That's very, very important. When you're sitting on camels and donkeys, you need unaffordable housing. Yes.
KSM, as everybody calls him. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Uncle Ebo White.
Wow, I feel good. I know that I was now. I feel good. I know that I was now. So good, so good. I got you. So good, so good. I got you.
How you are dressed. Everyone will think you are the CEO, and yet you're a mere driver.
Oh, driving is not mere. As the driver of this company, I'm the most important person here because I hold everybody's life in my hands when they sit in my car. Ja Rastafari, Ja Rastafari, Ja Rastafari, reveal all people.
Hey, Rebel.
Hey, what's the name?
What shall I see? I shall see.
What's it? Ja Jesus Father, Ja Jesus Father, Ja Jesus Father, redeem all the people.
Excuse me, I am inviting you to our 80 days of fasting and prayers. That is, if you don't want to miss the last train to heaven.
80 days. No.
Yes, just 80 days.
And this is from where?
This is from IDC YYD CHY WDY
Huh? And what is that?
That is the name of my church. It is, if the devil is chasing you and you don't come here, you will die young. International Gospel Ministries. See you there.
Frida, look, if you were me and I was you, you'll be doing the same thing.
Who told you?
Look, wait. Look, I'll call you, okay? I'll give you a call, all right?
Call me.
I'll call you first. Wait. Yeah, let me see. Okay, something small for the hair.
Excuse me, Harry. I don't take money from men, and I'm not about to begin with you. Goodbye.
But you eat the food I buy in the restaurant.
Hey, why do people have so many horror stories about marriage?
Because marriage is a horror movie and an action movie as well.
Becky, don't mind them. It is not so.
Welcome.
Rebel Tarzan, thank you.
I have been researching the two of you, and the good news is that everybody knows KSM, everybody knows Uncle Ebo White. But I asked people, do you know KSM's real name? They said, oh, Kombala something. I said, no, something. Many people love you, but you are now KSM, you are no longer Kokusintimisa. Yeah. And I asked people, we heard that there'll be some place at the National Theatre by James White. He said, who is he? I said, oh, you know head of James White? No. So whatever happened to Uncle Ebo? I said, Uncle Ebo is James White. So let's start off our conversation by telling us a little bit about yourselves. Your work is absolutely brilliant and is well known. But who is KSM?
Well, KSM is a very ordinary person with extraordinary passion. That's the main thing I see KSM as, that whatever I come to, I come with so much passion. I hope I leave a mark with whatever I do. That's basically KSM in short, The full name is Kokusintimis, as you know. But I remember back in the days, when I started radio, there was a guy at the Vibe then. It's called Michael Dovidoche.
Yes.
Yes. And he said, Kokusintim, it's too long, just go by your initials. And I said, really? So yes, just when you're introducing this, so just say KSM. And so I started using KSM, and KSM is now the brand. And few people are aware that the full name is Kwekusintim Misa. You know.
But I think it is good that people know him for KSM.
Yes.
And not Kwekusintim Misa, because I think that, and it will come out, I'm sure, on this program, that our public persona has very little to do with who we are as individuals. We have roles we play. But so there are people who say, Ebo White, I know him very well. And I laugh and say, you don't know me at all. You know my work.
Yeah.
And to some extent, you can glean a bit of who I am and from my work. But don't mistake it. So I think it is okay that.
But it's important. It's important for the purpose of history.
Yes.
You know, KSM, as they say in Ghana, where do you hail from? Where were you born? I think just to round off the picture, for people who admire you and want to know a little bit about you, I'll ask you the same, Ebo, because there's a coincidence about this discussion which will emerge. I know that
it sounds almost like a threat.
It's not a threat at all. For example, in my research, I found out that all three of us were born in Oseikrum.
That's right, yeah. That's true.
And not only that, KSM and I were born 50 years apart. He was in the mission house on Presby Hill.
That's right, yes.
And I was across the road in my family house, the back of which was 22 line. And you were in Sudreso.
Yes. Which is a walking distance away from Edum.
So here we are, 3 blasts from Kumasi, talking comedy. Oseikrum. How did you find? How were your early beginnings, your birth and life in Kumasi, and what gravitated you towards what you are now more famous for, Naibo?
I was a very despised boy.
Despised by who?
Because I wasn't the kind of boy who fitted in. I didn't have the kind of daredevil attitude to life that young people wanted. The influence of my mother and her discipline upon me was so strong that I did not get to live like any other person. In addition to that, I was an introvert. I had a very serious battle with inferiority complex as a child, to the extent that even though I was brilliant in school, if the teacher asked a question and I knew the answer, I couldn't bring myself to raise my hand. I knew the answer, but I could not, because there are people around and they would hear me.
This is not a script for an Ebo White play.
No, and they would hear me talking, and therefore I wouldn't speak.
Okay.
You know, and there are times when it is only when the teacher got so angry that no one was going to answer that he decides he was going to beat the whole class.
Yeah. Then he came to the rescue.
That when he gets to me, I whispered the answer to him because I couldn't dare. So, and children do not know about different temperaments. Children don't have patience for that. We are playing. You either come and play as hard as we are playing, or you are a fool. Get out.
You don't fit in.
You don't fit in. Get out. You know, we're going to raid a cassava, a sugarcane farm. You come along or go. We don't want to talk with you. We don't want to have anything to do with you. So I had that.
So you were always the snitch.
So no, I wasn't the snitch. No. Far from it. I wasn't the snitch. I was the
goody.
I was the one who would stand on the touchline, who was on the touchline watching others live their lives.
And collecting material for Ebo White's.
It didn't even occur to me in those days. I mean, self-interest, whoever wrote anything. And it didn't help that my kid brother was more handsome than I was, more adjusted than I was, and more intelligent than I was. You know, and the comparison at home did not help to bring me out.
You're always being pointed out to.
Oh yes.
Shown up.
Yes. So that is what I remember of my childhood. I was a loner.
KSM.
To a very large extent.
The son of the one soon to become the moderator of the Presbyterian Church. How was your upbringing?
Well, the upbringing was I was fortunate that at that time it was I guess middle class. You know, our family is very interesting. The first three, I think I would say. They were calling Ghana Ejama, and the last three were Dadama, you know, because of the transitions my dad went through. So it was a sort of...
from eating in the corner to those who sat at table.
You know, you know, Tech Primary.
Yes, exactly.
Santa Claus, mounting Christmas trees. I went through that to the extent that I remember that when I was hanging out with my friends and they were talking about their real adventures, you know, from the village and things they had to do and escapades, I felt left out. You know, it's like, oh... You know, I almost felt I had to also make up some
stories to keep up. Show that you were there.
Yeah, but it's very interesting when Ibowat was talking because basically I had a similar background. You know, I was to myself more like a loner, and I didn't fit in with the boys. Really, mine was different. I mean, if I was in the U.S., they would probably have said that I was totally, you know.
You are developing traits of,
you know, because I'd rather be playing ampe with the girls.
Of
you know?
AC/DC. you are seen to be almost AC/DC in your characteristics.
That's right. My feminine thing was...
I mean, wouldn't that have been very difficult living with Osofo Sintimbisa, whom you described as the funniest preacher that ever hit a pulpit?
Yeah. No, my father had this policy of upbringing. He says you cannot develop your child. You can only guide your child to develop. And I think that came up very visibly in the way he treated us. You know, it was almost like a hands-off thing and only came on when he was supposed to direct you and guide you, but very supportive in the decisions that you yourself made. You know, I had no problem deciding that I wanted to do drama. Where back in the day, you know, it was not a very popular thing and parents were supposed to discourage it. But Omar wouldn't do that, you know. I did one of the performances, earlier ones, way back in, I don't know, 75 or 76 at the Art Center then. And when I finished, he walked all the way up to the stage, you know, to hug me, like that's my son, you know. Yeah. But that was then, you know, and that's when it was very popular to encourage your children not to do the arts thing. So my father had a very interesting bringing style. So I think I fit in his style, you know, and it helped me.
But you hinted like you had the kind of mother I had. Very tough, very disciplined.
Oh, yes, she was.
How did that affect decisions about career choices, you know?
No, my mother was illiterate, so she really didn't understand this whole issue of school. It's for that reason that of the Ghanaian politicians, I love Kwame Nkrumah but for Nkrumah's policy of compulsory education, I'm sure that my mother wouldn't have, you know, bothered too much. And when I was going to school, her highest ambition for me was to finish San 7, elementary Form 4.
Form 4, yeah.
And then go to learn a trade at Suami magazine. And then come to help.
By the way, magazine is where the fitters and mechanics learn their trade and manufacture anything that is manufactured in the world.
Yes, and then I would come to help her raise my other 4 siblings. Okay. Because my daddy died rather early and had left her with 5 boys. And so she thought she needed help. So that was my mother's highest ambition for me.
For you to become a fitter.
Yes.
Fantastic.
We are from
Form 4.
San 7.
San 7. Yes, San 7.
Na yakọ hwe djuma mo
apprentice
wo magazine. Na abebua me yahwe wonu anom.
Fantastic.
That was what it was.
Let's move.
And that was changed by a teacher. Miss Comey. This was in elementary school, Form 3. The forms for Common Entrance had been submitted to her. It was a deadline. So she flipped through.
So you had missed Form 2, which is the normal time for you.
No, because I wasn't going to go to secondary school.
So you were baby for...
No, I was going to finish San 7 and go to magazine. I mean, what was he saying? And then, so she goes through the list of the And so she raises her head and said, James, where's yours? And I burst into tears. You know, I started crying. Then she said, come and pick a form. If you pass, I will look after you.
Amazing.
You know, so, and that was Miss Comey.
Is she still alive to see you today?
I don't know. I've tried. I've been searching for her. So if anybody knows of Miss Comey, who taught at South Central LA Middle School in the 60s. This was in 67, 68, thereabout. I owe her a huge debt of gratitude. So she then gave me the forms. And then I took it home. And of course, my mother had no idea, no plans for secondary. So she couldn't even help me with the choice. So I went back to her.
Back to Miss Comey.
Miss Comey, and said, well, you would then have to tell me which schools to choose. And because she knew she was going to pay the fees, she decided to pick schools she could afford. So the idea is, pick day schools in Accra. Then you will live in my family house. You know, and then I'll be able to take care of it. So she gave me Osu Presby as the first choice, Christian Methodist as the second choice, and things like that.
Fantastic.
So the results come, and I was one of two in the whole school who had passed the common entrance. Miss Comey's fortunes had changed because she had fallen ill. She had fallen seriously ill. And so she didn't think she was in a position to fulfill her promise. So the people went to my mother and said, look, you can't let this opportunity go. He is only one of two to have passed in the whole school. So you've got to find a way of making him go on. You know, so she somehow linked with my uncle, who was in Accra, and then said, well, who of us know, I'll pass the common entrance. Give him a place to stay. She decided, I'll pay his fees, provide something for his upkeep. But it's a day school, and he needs a place to stay. So that's how come
I got
from here. So my mom really did not have anything to do with my career.
Except to pay your fees, of course.
No, I'm talking about the career choice.
We're coming on to that one, because the career choice is fairly interesting. Of course, you being Osofoba went to Prempeh College and NAFTI and
I started at Presec.
At Presec.
Yes. And
it's all Presbyterian. It was all in the Presbyterian family. And then from Tech Primary, great contrast. Prempeh College, NAFTI, and then plenty degrees in America.
Yeah.
And I was reading about you, and after Osu and all that, you finished up as a statistician.
Yes.
At Legon.
That's what I read at Legon.
And then went on to do accountancy.
Yes, wrote the exams of the Institute of Chartered
Untutored.
Accountants. Yes.
And did marketing untutored.
Yes.
So, after all of that, statistics, marketing, accounting, unlike him, where I could see a development from his professional background.
Yes.
What got you into the Ebohai thing? Did it have something to do with your clearly what seemed to me like Christian counseling somewhere along the line?
No. I got into this before the Christian counseling and other things came.
But you were a Krife in your youth?
Yes, I was a good boy. Every good boy who was afraid of women was Krife.
Okay. You are afraid of women?
No, I said not now. But you stayed away from women.
You stayed away from. Okay.
Oh, but not now.
I mean, from this very,
But
you moved completely away from your background, and now.
Okay, so let me tell you how I got into theater.
Exactly.
I got into theater.
Yes.
This happened to me in the latter stages of secondary school Form 3 at Osu Presby. The school had a number of clubs. I did not have the confidence to join the drama wing, even though something in me was always attracted to them. So I would go to their rehearsals and stand in the window because I didn't have the confidence to even enter the room. Now, in those days, the final year students of School of Performing Arts were supposed to go to schools, pick a play, and direct and produce it. So they were shared to schools in Accra. So this guy had come to Osu Presby, and this was part of your exams. Do you understand? It was part of your exam. So it's not a play. You are not coming to joke. And the date had been fixed for the production, and things were not going too well with him. I knew because I was standing in the window watching them. I had watched them from the beginning to the point. And about 2 weeks to the production, they meet in their after classes, and the main character did not turn up. Had not turned up. Everybody who was in the room, in the rehearsals room, had a role, because those who didn't have roles to play and who were members of the group had dropped out, because why go and watch people do this? So I was standing in the window, and he needed to get this rehearsals going because time was on his side. His lecturers were going to come and mark him in 2 weeks, in a fortnight. So out of desperation, he began to look around, and then he saw me standing in the window. So I said, "Hey, you, come." And even though I knew I was the only one standing there, I still looked behind me because I wasn't too sure he could call me. They said, no, why are you looking behind you? Come. So I go in there and says, "Here, get the script. Read this role. Read these lines for us." So the idea was I was just standing and read the lines for him, and then so that the others, he could rehearse, focus on the others and rehearse them till the main character comes. What he didn't know was that for the weeks that I had been standing in the window, I had memorized the whole thing, the whole play.
Chinu Baba.
No, not Baba. I had memorized it. And I had not just memorized.
You had acted it in your head.
Yes. Yeah. So the movements,
everything
upper stage hand, and you don't turn with your back to the audience, which you were struggling to let them understand.
You had understood it.
I had understood it.
Wow.
A naturally born actor.
So I get in there. And within 5 minutes, he realizes I wasn't reading, but I had the lines. And the people he had been working on did not have the lines. I had the lines. I didn't need it. I had the movements. Well, anyway, when the guy turned up, 15 minutes later, he had lost the role.
You had finished him cry.
No, he had lost the role. I had finished him. He had lost the role. So that is how come. That's how I went on stage for the very first time.
Wow.
Okay. And then after that, because I was in Form 3 going to Form 4. In Form 4, I was the most senior person in the drama group now. Because now I had become, that performance gave me the confidence now to become a member of it.
How did
so
you
I became
start?
The president of the
How
did
you start? Well, yours was fairly clear. You went to drama school.
Yeah.
And all. So you were very clear.
My inspiration was from my sister, Anima.
Yes,
because she was in drama school then.
Anima is one of the most famous actresses in Hollywood. Those who don't know about Anima.
Mrs. Adams.
Mrs. Adams, yeah.
So I used to follow her to rehearsals at Legon, and follow her. She was in plays at
Drama Studio.
Drama Studio.
Drama Studios. Right.
And that's all. I just would follow her when she was going for rehearsals, and I just fell in love with the whole theater, just following her and watching her. So she was my main inspiration. And then she took me to a show they were staging at Legon then by Atofugad, because Sizwe Baze is dead.
Yes, Sizwe Baze is dead.
Sizwe Baze is dead, yeah.
Right.
And these were two guys alone on stage, playing the roles of different characters, and I was enamored. And like a boy, I just kept going to their rehearsals for a long time. I even started memorizing their lines. But the thing is, at one point, I just felt I could be on stage. So I said, wow. I was so mesmerized with the Tofugad play with two guys. Atofugad, yeah. What if I do one person? Instead of the two, I was impressed with two. What if one person does it? I said, okay. So that was when I wrote my first play.
Which was which year?
70.
This was in 76.
76.
Which was called?
Mellow Madness.
I watched it at the British Council then.
So that was your first solo performance?
Yes, and it was something else. He played...
What was it about?
4 or 5 roles?
5 roles.
He played 5 roles. What was the play about?
I don't remember, but I know it had something to do with inheritance and with...
But you wrote, directed, and performed?
And performed it. And I wasn't like, in my later plays, what I realized I do is that I can play other characters, but I just imitate the other characters. In Mellow Madness, I actually would go backstage, come on stage,
change.
act a different change.
Is it because the trick he used was that, Mr. Dr. Raku said, Raku said he will come on. Oh, hold on. Is that not him coming? Hey, Doc! Then he will walk out as if he's going to greet
and then go and change
then comes in as Dr. Raku Brebe.
Yeah.
So and then said case of packing no money in your memo now, and then now it's Doc. Yeah. No, that was it. Way back then.
It's a Mutual Admiration Society. What was his first play that you saw?
Men Cry, Women.
No. That was much earlier.
The first play that I saw
of his.
Yes, that was his first play I saw. Was Women Cry, Men Run?
No, that was much earlier. Women Cry, Men Cry, Women Cry is this year. But I think you watched. I think you watched The Devil in the Mirror, but you watched The Day That and What Dad Left Behind.
That one, you actually cast me.
You
played in the role in that.
He played the role.
So how many plays did you do before you went off on the arbitrary surgeon? How many did you after? Just the one.
Mellow Madness. That's all I had done.
And then you went off to America for several years, including stints in the Kentucky Fried Chicken and the car parks and all those things, which reinforced clearly, and the stints in Hollywood, etc. Before you came back to do the returnee.
I came back with the returnee.
Excellent. So now that's a nice background. People know you a little bit more, both of you. Now let's talk about what makes you what you are today. Ebo, you've been now since 2008.
Yes.
You've been writing a play every quarter.
Writing, directing, and producing a play every quarter. Yes.
Now, here is the lead actor. The one who mesmerized and gave himself self-acting coaching and became such a good actor. Why didn't Ebo perform? Write, direct. Why isn't Ebo
I had performed in my earlier plays. So I performed in Tough Guy. I performed in some of the other plays. But then
before the 208?
Yeah, before the 208. I wrote and produced my first play in 75.
Wow.
And had kept it up, not as regularly as this one, as this time around. But what I realized was that as a performer, you needed a tough hand to bring the best out of you. And therefore, my performance side was suffering. Because there wasn't anybody. Look, I am the leader of the group. I have written my play. I have cast you in it. I am directing you, and I'm playing a role. Are you going to tell me that Minyani? Do you understand me? Nobody in the group was going to have the confidence to come to you and say, well, the way, the interpretation you are giving to the role is not right.
So when you started,
I took a conscious decision
that with Roverman Productions,
that until I got somebody whose skill and expertise I had that much confidence in, and who also was ready to make my vision and my dreams his vision and his dream, I would direct and not perform.
So this has been part of Roverman Productions.
This has been part of Roverman Productions.
Now, the discipline that you give to yourself, before I come to that, let me. You came back when in 1996, and you picked up from where you left off.
No, he didn't.
Masa.
No, he came into radio.
I know he came
into the media and took the media by storm.
Talk shop. I used to appear on his show very regularly.
Took the media
by storm. With his references to the great Sinti-Misa tradition. But on the stage, when you came back, you picked up where you left off.
Yeah, when I came back, there was a bit of a break.
Yes.
Because I came back, and because of circumstances, I decided to do some radio. And I remember...
I know you're on Vibe FM, and you have a lot of radio, yes.
Yes. And I remember somewhere, maybe 2 years later, or within a year, my wife said, "You cry, you've forgotten all your acting. You have now become a radio man." I said, "Who?" forgotten my acting. You don't forget acting. She said, oh, stop. I don't know whether she was just taunting me to remind me that I had a craft. Baiting me.
Yes.
I said, okay, give me 2 or 3 months. I don't remember how much time, but I'm going to come up with a show. And that inspired me writing Thoughts of a Confused... No. The Saga of a Returnee.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So when she challenged me that way, I said, okay, I'm going to do a show on my whole journey to the U.S. and coming back and the process and everything. So I sat down and I wrote the Saga of the Returnee out of her daring me that I've forgotten my drama.
and it was so successful.
And I think to date, in terms of recognition, in terms of attendance, I did the Saga of the Returnee 13 times.
Yes.
And they were all sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I probably, if I revisited, I can probably get another sell-out audience.
And that was the birth of the annual KSM show.
Yes. So then I said, oh, okay, so there's room for theatre still. So I then went to the next show, which was Politically Incorrect. Was my second show, which was another blast. And then from then on, I just stuck with my one-man tradition. And
Uncle Bo, you've done about, 15 of the Roverman productions?
21 in 5 years.
21 in 5 years.
That's
Every 3 months you do it.
Every 3 months, yes.
Yeah, let me shake you here, man. That's amazing.
First of all, I admire the amazing discipline with which you churn this out every 6 months. And I read a feature about how professional and disciplined the whole production is.
Yeah.
So, clean sheet of paper. You have 3 months to write, rehearse, direct, put on a show. Take us through, in a kind of nutshell, how you go about this.
All right. The writing itself often begins with an idea or with a thought. What if? Or just a character, or just a line I hear. If I pick the devil in the mirror, it was this issue of women who think their men are not spiritual enough. You know, they would go to prayer every dawn. They would go to every church meeting. They are more or less the Osophos PAs. And then they always are putting their husbands on and things like that. And yet, the stress in the house and the problems in the house are being
ignored.
No, they are the cause of the so-called spiritual. So that was the idea. Then I said, okay, it will be interesting to explore this. Let me explore it and see how it will go. So then I begin the whole process. Now, that process is not a very simple thing for me to explain to anyone who is not going through the creative thing. But once that is done, once the script is done, then I bring together, I give it to a few people to read. They give me their comments. I revise them. Then I bring about 12 people who I know are not overawed by me, who can look me in the face and say, "But this is lousy." I bring them together in an evening, and then we read it. So I distribute the roles, the parts, and you just read. At the end of it, we open a discussion, and they tell me first, is this a worthy successor to my last play? Because the challenge is that every play must beat the last one. Is this a worthy successor of the last play? Is this a
beat
good...
in terms of quality?
In terms of quality, in terms of story, in terms of interest level, and things like that. And sometimes they can go and say, you know, this play didn't do anything for me.
So do you bring the same 12 people?
Come again.
Do you bring the same 12 people?
No.
Different 12?
Always, yes. But there will be people... I bring some people always because I want them to be able to see a trend.
So you have a team, a core team. That
all my staff I recruit into this.
Okay.
You know, so that they can say that, no, this name you've used too often. This theme has reoccurred too often. This, you know, that kind of thing. So, and that can be, they are having fun. But it's a very brutal thing for me because they are
being taken to the cleaners.
Oh, yes.
All your best efforts are being picked.
Oh, yes. And because of that, there are 5 plays that have not seen the light of day. Because the people damned it so much.
To shelve them.
And then this was a place I was hot about. But they said, no. I mean, it's not good. So then I go back, revise it, look at the places where they saw which characters they said were flat, which themes they thought were not that well developed, that kind of thing. So I do all that. And then bring them back with 3 more people who are not there for the previous reading. And then we'll read through it and take their views. And it is when they say, yeah, I think, yes. Yeah, this is okay. Then I take it to my biggest critic, my wife. I give it to her. And she reads. And when she finishes reading and she does, I know it is wrong.
Means you are dead in the water.
You know, but if she finishes reading it and throws it down and begins to either laugh or begins to fire questions. So, what do you mean by this? This thing you said here, what? That. Then I know.
You're onto your winner.
Yes, then this is something, you know. And so you satisfy all of them, you know, before I now bring the whole group together. And then we read it, and the whole group also respond to it and vote to determine if this is a worthy successor. Quite often I take 2 plays to them, and they vote, you know.
So you have the experiment and the control, just in case.
Yes.
You don't take one, so if they reject it,
they vote. And the interesting thing comes when sometimes the vote becomes such that you would have to now break the tie.
Yeah, the casting vote.
Because they like both.
The Speaker of Parliament.
But somebody likes this, somebody likes this, and then I say, you guys have not earned your keep, because you were supposed to tell me which.
Well, you don't have a problem. Why don't you just keep it for the next 3 months?
No, once we pick that, because I like to stay working. Okay. You know, but the reason why, Doc, the reason why I've taken time to go over this
is important.
That there are people who want to be where I am and do what I am doing, who don't take correction. They don't take people. They don't hold themselves accountable. And I wish sometimes, I think we'll record one of those sessions and play it to the public to see. It is not kid gloves.
It's not a white.
Somebody can get up
the fount of all wisdom.
I think this one, you wasted your time to write this.
Let me get.
But so before you go to him, the point I'm making is that there is no great writing. No. There is great rewriting. And that is what my process.
An idea just goes through a process that has a lot of interaction.
And it's also not a one-man thing. Even though it's one man's name, it's a very collaborative work.
So you germinate the idea and others water and see it grow. Okay, so share your secret.
My experience is quite different.
That's what we want to know, yes.
Yes, because I write as a one-man performance. And I write also knowing that I am the one who's going to perform it.
Right.
So I think it's very different. I think if I'm writing for somebody else, I may use it. But because I know I'm going to perform it, but the important thing is everything is written. The script for the saga is there. The script for Ghana 50 is there. Everything I write. And because of what I do, is a blend between a one-man show and stand-up, if you will.
Yeah, so stand-up comedy and...
Yes. So there's a component that I leave that when I get on stage and things are happening, I can quickly adjust. If I see Tarzan in the audience, I can make a story about Tarzan. Those things I just leave out there. But the core thing is written. You know, the core thing is written. And because I'm not writing for anybody, it's a one-man thing for me.
How do you pick the ideas? You know, they tend to be, shall we say, racy, political, kind of very...
Yeah. Sometimes... It just starts with a title. I don't know why. Politically incorrect. I just like the title.
Yes.
So I just have a title. I said, so I should write something to fit this title. I don't write the script and then look for a title. No. I get a title, that moves me. Okay, let me find something that will fit in this title. The same thing that happened with the Fiastribo. I just got carried away with the name that it sounds like a very powerful, good name for a woman Who Wants to Be a Politician.
And I haven't heard anything from Lasisi. I mean, that's a fantastic.
Lasisi was the military man. Sergeant Lasisi felt good, you know. So basically, the way I write.
But do you try? Do the titles come to you because contextually or maybe subconsciously the thing is topical, or just the title?
The thing could be topical. It could be something I'm discussing, because something I just hear that sounds really good. Or somebody could be talking about another issue that sounds great as material for the stage. So I say, okay, what title will go with this? Then I find the title, and then I get the vim from the title. Then I start writing, you know.
And how long does it take you from title to conception to writing?
It's about 3 months.
About 3 months.
3 months of writing and rewriting, as Ibo said. You know.
Do you also do peer assessment and peer review?
That's something I'm learning from Ibo now.
Right.
Because I do it, and I sit down, and then I imagine myself performing for the audience, and I can tell when the audience is laughing, and I can tell when, you know. So it's almost as if I'm able to imagine exactly what's going to happen on stage as I'm writing. You know, when I'm writing a joke and I don't laugh.
You yourself don't laugh?
Yeah, when I don't laugh, I know it's the joke. If I don't laugh, why do I expect them to laugh? You know, so most of the time, and not all the time, I'm accurate. I know, oh, this scene coming, they're going to die. They're just going to die, you know, because I laughed, you know. So, and most likely when I get to that scene, the place will be in stitches.
Okay.
You know, sometimes I get surprised every now and then, though, where I expect a very big laugh. They'll be watching me like, you know. But sometimes, most of the times it works. But I do a very solitary thing. For the longest time, I'm in my bedroom. I do my rehearsals in my bedroom. I do the blocking. The blocking is mental.
Your family don't get upset with you going?
They do. They tell me I wrecked their Christmas.
Exactly.
But you can't be married to any of us and not get used to this.
You know?
No, you can't. You can't. You can't. But let me pick on something he said. You know, the process he's given us, the solitary thing, is what the creative
energy comes from, isn't it?
No, it is what creativity is all about. Creativity is not a public thing.
No.
You've got to go in there, lock yourself up, sit down, put off the television, put off everything, lose all your friends, and produce. Get out of touch with what is happening and produce. Because when an idea gets into you and the idea torments you and you are not good for anything. If I have an idea right now in my mind wanting to come, I will not be friendly with anybody because it's
do you have any friends left? You do this every 3 months.
Oh, I have friends.
You have friends.
Success has a lot of friends.
Has a lot of friends. I haven't seen that one. I see.
But in his case, in my case, because I'm producing a play every 3 months, in the past what I would do is that I write a play and bury it. Nobody saw it. Take it out about 6 months later and read it again. If I don't like it, revise it, bury it again, pick it up later. So, so all the previous 15 plays I wrote, nobody saw them. The group I just took it to the group.
I'll buy the rights
and get them to do it. But because I had a room for that. Now I have 3 months to do a new play. You don't have the luxury to write and bury.
Do you think that burying those 15 plays has given you a style?
This is a way I have adapted to, as it were, fast track the creative process. Because see, when as a writer, as a creative person, when people have read your script and they are tearing to pieces,
it hurts.
It doesn't. Not at this level. No, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. I get excited because better for it to be torn down by 15 people than by 1,500 people who are walking out of National Theatre and say, "I'm a good place in this time."
And
Koye. No. Okay, so for me, it's very, and that's why I bring them. And I tell them at the beginning of it, I say, "You are here because of your creative."
There's so many things I need to tackle. Thinking. So let me just tackle them before our time runs out. Because if I left you, I'm sure you could talk for 3 hours. But there are things. Do you write to make people laugh, or do you write to get a message across, or both?
I write to make people laugh.
Not to get a message across.
No. That's a bonus.
That's a bonus.
Yes.
So all
when I'm writing, I'm not a preacher.
All the underlining morality and awkwardness,
those are bonuses.
Awkwardness that you create for many of us in the audiences.
Those are bonuses.
Those are just bonuses. Oh, thank God for small mercies.
I write to make people
just
laugh.
to make people laugh.
Just to make.
Thank God for that.
There's
sometimes when you watch a Bohwai's play,
you haven't watched any of my plays,
so this is
I have watched them. This is hearsay.
It's not hearsay.
This is hearsay.
I have watched them on television. I had to pull down.
Not good enough.
Because maybe I didn't want to come there and be embarrassed.
No, Doc, you are my senior brother. You haven't watched any of my plays. Not good enough. If we had a family meeting regularly, this is one of the charges I'll bring against you.
For not watching your play.
For not watching my
I'll also charge you for inviting me at a time when I couldn't come. KSM, do you write just for laugh?
No,
Or do you have a message?
No, I have a message. For example, on the Saga of the Returnee, the message was generally to get Ghanaians to be aware of our psyche and how that impedes our progress. That's the deeper message of the whole thing. But I chose the medium of comedy or satire so that they can be comfortable about laughing at themselves. But there was a message in there.
And most of the stuff you do, there's a message?
Yeah, there is. Whether the people get it or not is another thing, you know. Because almost always when they leave, they talk about the jokes and the laughs and the thing, and I rarely hear them discussing any message. So maybe you have to do like a boy that just go and make them laugh. But yeah, I try to put a message in there. And I don't know whether it's my writing style, maybe the humor.
No.
Supersedes the message.
I think.
No, Kesa,
is not being.
I don't think that you need to make any apology at all, because what I have discovered is that if I can make you laugh, I can sell you anything.
Yeah.
So I'll make you laugh. If I can make you laugh, I can sell you anything. And so there are people who come to watch my shows and they get very upset that people are laughing at serious issues.
Yeah.
But I tell them, allow them to laugh, because you see, you will laugh in the theater, but someday, as you are laughing, your mind will knock and say, there is a deeper meaning to what you are laughing over.
Most people will be very surprised to hear Uncle Ebo say that there is no hidden message in
No, I haven't said that. You asked me what is my foremost aim.
No, I didn't use the word foremost. I said, do you write just for comedy?
I write for people to laugh.
There's both?
I write for people to laugh.
And they're not supposed to take anything away except be happy.
Boys are bread.
Boys are bread.
Let people laugh small. Okay. What I take away from that one is a bonus. I said that. Right. It's a bonus. It doesn't mean that what I write is nonsensical.
No.
Do you understand?
It's not nonsensical.
But
it's not comedy in that sense.
Whatever it is I am writing, if it is not funny enough, I won't write it.
So what are you going to make us do this Christmas to laugh? Roverman Festival? What does it entail?
Well, five of my plays. What I do every year is that because I do 4 plays every year, at the end of the year, I bring all 4 plays.
Plus a new one?
No. Plus, because we've done this for so long, we pick one play from the past that people have been asking, so we bring it and add it to the 4.
So what's the blast from the past for this year?
It's The Day Dad Came.
The Day Dad
Came. The Day Dad
Why
came.
Did you pick that one?
That was picked by my staff against my choice. It's a very democratic. I don't blame my officer, I know. I mean, they can outvote me.
Oh, really?
And they outvoted me and said, look, Uncle Bo, this play we did for only one weekend. We didn't get to do it a second weekend. We think the issues there were fantastic. We didn't get the opportunity to explore too much of that. The times are right for us to do it. Okay, let's put it to vote. All of them. Apparently, they had discussed it before the meeting.
So where and when?
We ran from 28th of December, and we ran right up to 4th of January. And the idea is that instead of buying a hamper for somebody, buy the person the ticket for the festival.
Fantastic.
A full ticket for the festival. And the person would thank you for the rest of the year.
KSM, Uncle Ibu and I are going to embarrass you. You are trying to run out of your show this year, but we think that boys are bred. They need humor. So please confirm that you'll be doing one this year.
I should confirm that I will be doing it
live.
Well, I'm still talking to the two of you. You know, Ebo White has planned to meet with me after this, and we'll have some discussions.
The good thing is that the date 25th, keep it open. It is still a KSM day.
Christmas night.
I think that is what people
it's a
know.
KSM day.
25th.
And 25th of December, 2013.
2013.
Will be KSM
Watch
day.
the space.
Watch the space.
Watch the space.
Yes.
Watch the space.
Christmas, you know, now we eat so much chicken and fried rice that chicken is no longer a delicacy for Christmas.
Yeah.
KSM is. So we want our delicacy
You
for
want
this
your
year.
delicacy.
Thank you both very much for what has been a very exciting discussion. I think the purpose has been achieved. People come to your place, come to your performances, they laugh, they get a lot out of it. But at least from tonight, I hope they've gotten to know a little bit about Koku Sinti Misa, who they knew before as KSM, James Ebo White, who everybody calls Uncle Ebo White. These are the people who are making our people, at least those who have finished San 7, laugh and have a very enjoyable Christmas. I wish you the same for 2013. Thank you for watching.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, folks. This has been great, man. This has been great to catch the president on his birthday, interrupt his campaign, have a chat with him, have him cut the cake. It is beautiful. There's only one thing missing, man. Do you know what? I have seen the president dance Azonto, and I think I'm a better Azonto dancer, man. So any challenger? Okay, Mr. President, I'll start you. Okay, Azonto.
Azonto. My daughter taught me how to dance, so I dedicate this Azonto dance to her.
Okay.
She said you twist your leg,
okay.
then you go like that, and go like that.
Oh, hey.